You may have noticed that the media has suddenly taken notice of the carnivore diet, or at least something they're calling the lion diet. And I want to talk to you about what the lion diet is today, because what they're calling the lion diet and what we in carnivore circles call the lion diet are not the same thing. There have been various media stories about the lion diet. And of course, you can predict what they are. They're hostile. They talk about how dangerous the lion diet is, how you miss all these essential nutrients and fiber and yada, 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 yada. Tired refrain we've heard many, many times whenever this sort of media picks up on the carnivore diet and runs with it. But what is the lion diet? Well, the lion diet, according to the media, is essentially just a rebranded, repurposed name for the carnivore diet. And there's a whole range of things of what the carnivore diet entails. But when they talk about it, you realize what they're really talking about is just what kind of typical carnivore diet. The carnivore diet many of you watching this know and love, or that many of you have been curious about, or many of you are just getting started with. And let me know in the comments how your carnivore diet, how your carnivore or keto journey in 2023 is going so far. I'm genuinely curious. I want nothing but the best success for you. I lost 150 pounds in 18 months going first keto, then carnivore. So I want you to have as much success as possible. And I still got like 30 pounds or so that I need to lose. And we're going to do that this year. But what do they mean by the lion diet? Well, they mean carnivore. That's what they mean. So what is the lion diet really? Well, the carnivore diet is really a collection of zero carb or zero carb-ish diets on a spectrum, where the bridge between keto and carnivore is something called ketovore, where you're occasionally having some vegetables, but otherwise you're eating animal products. And then you get sort of like relaxed carnivore, which is the people who still put spices on their food, have coffee, and then after that you start getting into more strict carnivore, which is just mostly ruminant animals plus eggs and dairy, depending on your tolerance for it, including butter and cheese and these other things. The artificial sweeteners, if you're having them at all, they're going to be things like monk fruit, and you're staying away from aspartame and that kind of thing. And then you start getting into more stricter carnivore, like strict carnivore being triple B and E, beef, butter, bacon, eggs. You're not having coffee anymore, all this stuff. And then you get to the lion diet. In the carnivore world, the lion diet is like the purest form of carnivore. You are eating nothing but whatever is culturally appropriate for you, ruminant animals, and salt, and drinking water, and that's it. Typically, people just call it like, the beef and salt diet, because most of the audience for these social media videos are in the United States or in England. But it could also be lamb, depending where you're at, or bison, or some other ruminant animal that is sufficiently fatty enough for you to have a successful diet. You'll be eating nothing but the flesh meat of it and maybe their organs. And you drink water and you have salt, and that is it. No butter, no dairy, no eggs, no nothing. That's the lion diet. And often you'll find in the lion diet community, huge numbers of people advocating for eating the meat entirely raw, which I can't do, or maybe scaring the meat with a flame a little bit to getting and serving it blue rare. Blue rare is where it's pretty much cold in the middle still. You've scorched the surface of the meat to make sure that it's safe, but otherwise it's raw. I have no interest in doing that. I'm never going to do the lion diet like that unless it's a survival situation. But that is what the lion diet is. Nothing against anybody who does that, by the way. I don't personally approve of it for myself, but if you're doing it and having success, more power to you. Do what you need to do to get yourself healthy. But that is what the lion diet actually is. But these media articles in these various outlets, they basically are conflating the lion diet with the rest of the carnivore community. And the lion diet is obviously a carnivore diet, but to call it the carnivore diet, which pretty much it eliminates, or it basically co-opts a cool marketing name, the lion diet. I mean, that is a pretty cool name, and turns it into an umbrella term for all of carnivore. And I don't know why they're doing that, other than, the easiest explanation is laziness, right? Lion diet gets some headline, is more likely to get you clicks on your website than, zero carb or carnivore is when you're going after trying to stop people from going onto the new diet, because that's what this is about. These articles came out in the run-up to the new year and into the new year for one reason and one reason only, and that is because at this time of year, people are looking for ways to get a new start in terms of health, to correct their health benefit or the health problems, to get a diet that gives them the most benefits. Carnivore is pretty in vogue right now. It's coming in from being something that was only like the most fringiest of all diets to suddenly people talking openly about it, especially in low carb circles. And this is as a consequence of the keto diet basically being mainstream. And if you don't believe me that it's mainstream, go to your grocery store, go down the bread aisle, and count the number of keto breads there are, or go to the frozen food aisle, count the number of keto processed frozen foods, on and on. You're going to see that, and you're going to see some of the keto adjacent things like Primal Kitchen brand mayonnaises and things, or Sir Kensington's brands, or there's another one I can never remember the name of it. But all these sort of adjacent things, because keto is becoming mainstream. There are more keto treats than ever, which is why I quit doing keto and went carnivore, because those things are too tempting. At the end of the day, they will still torpedo, at least for me, my keto diet. So I went carnivore. And I reside on the close to strict. I still enjoy coffee, but otherwise it's beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and occasionally a little bit of fish. That's what I do. And I have a lot of success doing that, and I tend to be pretty happy doing that. I've recently scaled back on the spices again to bare minimum, basically salt, occasionally some pepper if I'm cooking a brisket, but otherwise just salt and meat. That's all you need. But I wouldn't call that a lion diet, because the lion diet has a definition. And calling things by their name and using the proper definition for them is just being intellectually honest. That's just what we should be doing. And the media is very good at just taking a term, borrowing it from something else, and then just blowing it up and using it for their own purposes. And they're doing that with the lion diet now. They're doing that to carnivore right now, and it's because the lion diet looks insanely strict and insanely unwise to people who don't know anything about nutrition. I was on Twitter and somebody was trying to argue with me about how, human beings need to eat, plants to be healthy. Well, there's no evidence for that. Dr. Sean Baker's been going 6 years now. Doesn't eat plants. He's in amazing shape. I hope I'm anywhere near his shape when I'm in my mid-50s. Dr. Chafee has been carnivore for 23 years now. Hasn't eaten a plant in most of that time. We're doing okay, folks. You'll do okay without the plants. But don't fall for the hype about what the lion diet is. The lion diet is truly just essentially beef and salt and water. That's all it is. But that's not how the media is using it. And don't fall for their talking points. They're just repackaging their anti-carnivore talking points to come after it using a more in vogue name. That's all it is. If you're interested in the lion diet, let me know in the comments. And if you do the lion diet, the real lion diet with the beef or lamb or the ruminant meat and the associated organs as you want, and water and salt, let me know in the comments and how long you've been doing it for, and if people and why you do that version as opposed to one of more relaxed carnivore, either relaxed carnivore, or strict carnivore, or ketovore, or whatever. Let me know in the comments what your experiences with this are, and what kind of a reaction you get from people when you tell them that you eat nearly raw meat and drink water and you don't do anything else. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It really does help us. Sharing this on social media, that helps too. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore, and thanks for tuning in today.